Turned out to be a pretty nice Sunday afternoon at beautiful Belmont Park. There is a shot of the quarter pole picnic area at the top of the stretch. A wet, sloppy track as we kicked off the program. A track, however, that dried out quickly on a windy and blustery but warm Sunday afternoon. A live look at the Belmont Park backyard, one of the best-kept secrets on all of Long Island. We are off and running. Happy Father's Day to the MIG. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope you had a great one. Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore alongside, and no day like Father's Day, Mig. When it comes down to attendance, this might be the second most crowded day behind Belmont Day.
It was just such a buzz here. There was so much excitement. The backyard was packed. I came out early today. I took a picture down the stretch. It was a lot of fun to see all the dads and all the families enjoying this beautiful park.
They enjoyed the top-class thoroughbred racing, shooting hoops with their kids as well. We had the car show, some old classic cars, some new cars, and again, track right behind these families and big smiles. Nothing like spending a day, and it sounds a little cheesy, but it's the truth. It's what matters in life. And this is a game. It just is a game where it's all about the family. How many of us, whether it was your dad, your brother, your uncle, your mom, were introduced to thoroughbred racing through a family member?
Absolutely. I was already hooked on the game, but I said it last night. Coming here to see Seattle Slew with my father win the Triple Crown was one of the greatest memories I have. And you said old and classic cars and then some newer models. We had some old classic dads and some newer dads as well.
They all are Supermen, though. We had the big Superman S wrapping up that little segment, and hope everybody had a great time at Belmont Park today. A day that was a bit warm, but everything worked out. We had some tight finishes, and boy, oh boy, there was a lot of money up for grabs in that Sunday Pick 6. More on that, however, as the show progresses. How about the action out of town, as we hope you'll tune in, or at the very least set the DVR for the Monday and Tuesday editions of the National Racing Report on MSG Plus, 7 p.m. We covered 10 races over 8 tracks, and for us, a rare stop at Thistledown was Saturday's Ohio Derby.
The Ohio Derby won by Mr. Z. Mr. Z is very adorable. Shows up, dances every dance, gets it done under a terrific ride by Joe Bravo. And Wayne Lucas, not afraid to run one. The New York bred Tensendor just missed after failing to change leads through the stretch, but a terrific horse race.
Race we covered actually from the gate alongside Andy Serling. 7 p.m. post time Monday and Tuesday for the National Racing Report. There is no American Pharaoh hangover or post-Belmont lull on that show. Ken Workington, the track announcer, will take us through our next headline. In fact, they just hit the wire, Mig, a few moments ago in the 3-year-old restricted Pegasus down on the Jersey Shore. Big Father's Day crowd as well at Monmouth Park, and a bunch of 3-year-olds were going for the top prize. And here's what happened.
Nick comes 3 wide, but he's got 4.5 to make up here as it's Mr. Jordan and Paco Lopez on the verge. 1:11.4. They're in the stretch of the Pegasus. Mr. Jordan drifts out here, and it's Mr. Jordan trying to fight back on the inside is Texton. Then Good Picnic is a distant third. Down to the wire in the Pegasus, it's Mr. Jordan fighting back. Texton on the inside. Texton, Mr. Jordan and Texton hit the line together. Then Good Picnic.
Close finish. Mr. Jordan, slight 5-2 chalk. 4 for 6 lifetime. He's a 3-year-old gray colt by Cantharos, and I would have to say, Mig, looking at his lifetime resume, and in fact, he's won 4 or 6. Eddie Plesa Jr., his trainer's done a nice job at campaigning him.
A terrific job, and that's one of Eddie Plesa's strengths. When a horse gets in form, he can keep them in form for a long time. This horse has actually finished in front 5 of 6 times, disqualified in his last start for bearing out late. Well, he was doing the same thing today, so there's a bit of a cause for concern, but he has the winning habit.
Mauno 16th did go the 2 turns at Monmouth Park, even though he is by a horse who was very precocious and speedy. Got hurt after winning the Saratoga Special in Cantharos. We'll see if the Haskell might be on the radar. You would think it is in a race, of course, that would be a lot more valuable or at least appetizing if there was no American Pharaoh in the starting gate.
Well, it's still a big purse, and there's no shame in being defeated by a Triple Crown winner, and second money's still good. You would have to think, though, that being his home track, that would probably be his main objective.
No greater anticipated stake on this Sunday afternoon. Plenty of people and a good amount of good-sized fields. Racing office did a nice job getting some coverage in the off-the-turf races, and the streak ended today. 38 complete cards without an off-the-turf race. Well, today we just couldn't avoid it with the heavy rain we got last night.
Just too much water, and the ground took too much of a soaking, and it wouldn't have been fair or safe to the horses and riders. So the right move by NYRA management.
When you think about the weather and the run we've been on, this was our first sloppy track, and the track dried out very quickly. And kudos once again to Glenn Kozak and his crew.
Yeah.
First sloppy track on this circuit since Saturday, March 14th. The Gotham was a week old. El Kabir's Gotham win was a week old. Think about that for a second.
That's incredible. I didn't realize we had gone that long without having an off racetrack.
I try to cover all the angles. I try to be the
You're
hostess with the mostest. All right, Larry Coleman's doing his thing as well. We know he'll have his usual triple-digit buyer performance up in the booth today. We've got the first New York Stallion Stakes on the card, and here's Mr. Larry C. with a field of 4.
Fenwick Hall on the inside, away running in second. XXX is third early, and Possessed last of the 4 is secured position, secures the early lead. And on the outside, XXX goes up to challenge now, and these two quicken on, opening up from Fenwick Hall and Possessed, who are just behind them. Now it's XXX on the outside to the front. The opening quarter in 22 and 4/5 seconds, secured position, recaptures the lead now on the inside. Then it's Fenwick Hall and Possessed. The first 4 here, they're all right together as they make their way around the far turn. It is secured position, 3/4 of a length ahead of Fenwick Hall. A 3-wide Possessed is just to the outside of them, and XXX is not keeping up. Around the far turn, secured position, Fenwick Hall and Possessed. And these 3 have run a 46 and 2/2 mile. And they make their way to the quarter pole with secured position in front. Possessed on the outside second. And Fenwick Hall is given way to third. They're into the stretch. And it's Possessed. Possessed has taken the lead and is pulling away now. Opening up by 2 at the 8th pole. Secured position is second, and Fenwick Hall is third as they come to the final 16th. Jose Ortiz and Possessed have the race won. They're going to take the spectacular bid division by about 6 in the end over secured position. Fenwick Hall was third.
Odds-on favorite, big, too much. Possessed, we saw him all winter long. He's just a better horse on the dirt than these.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. If the race did come off the grass, which indeed it did, Possessed, it was his race to win or lose, and he was much the best, really confident ride by Jose Ortiz. And Charlton Baker just seems to be able to do it over and over again with all different kind of horses, but he excels with these New York breds.
But doesn't matter the time of the year, cold winter months at Aqueduct. It's a hot, very humid day at Belmont. That's why we're not sitting here with sport coats on. He wins at Saratoga, and he's one of the few guys that really has his hand on the pulse. What horses excel at Finger Lakes, and he can also manage a string and do it well down on this circuit.
Well, we've seen this. It's kind of become fashionable to do. You got Charlton Baker doing it, knowing which horses need to go to Finger Lakes, which need to stay here, as well as the Englehart family, Jeremiah and his father Chris, and it gives them a lot of different opportunities with horses. They can move them around. When they get good, they can come back. If they need to go there for a confidence builder, they can go there.
We're in good shape. No confidence builder needed. Larry Colemas once again, race number 6, the Cupicoy's Joy. This was the second and final Stallion Stakes on today's card. Kicked off the late pick 4 with the 3-year-old fillies.
They're off. And it's Dreamboat Annie who bounces out on top. Freudian and the Lewis Dinner go with Dreamboat Annie early. And behind them are Perfect Freud and Loon River. And the field running up the backstretch here. And the Lewis Dinner has now taken the lead. Dreamboat Annie on the inside running in second. Just off of them is Freudian in third. Perfect Freud fourth on the inside. And Loon River last of the 5 and 6 lengths off the lead. The first quarter was 23 seconds flat. And the Lewis Dinner's got a neck in front. Dreamboat Annie's down on the inside. Perfect Freud is right in behind them. Freudian is just to the outside of Perfect Freud and only 2 lengths off the lead and 4 lengths ahead of Loon River. On the far turn, it is the Lewis Dinner in front with Perfect Freud and Freudian moving up alongside after a 46 and 3/2 mile. The 3 of them are together, and Dreamboat Annie is just behind them running in fourth and still in it as they come toward the top of the stretch. And it is Perfect Freud on the outside who has taken the lead. Perfect Freud now in front. The Lewis Dinner on the inside is second. And now Dreamboat Annie's been swung to the outside for a clear run with 1 furlong to go. It is Perfect Freud and Dreamboat Annie. These two down to the 16th pole. And Dreamboat Annie and John Velasquez breezed by Perfect Freud. Dreamboat Annie has won it by a length. And then it was Perfect Freud second, followed by the Lewis Dinner and Loon River.
It's a Freud exacta with that top New York stallion running 1-2 in the Cupicois division. And John Velasquez, very cagey ride here, Mig.
That's about as good as it gets. I mean, Dreamboat Annie's up close inside. He didn't want to be committed to that position. He allowed her to drop back. She did react a little bit to the kickback, was climbing a bit, but his confidence level, he knew when he was able to ease her to the clear, she was going to kick on. A great ride, and we'd be remiss not to mention Lee Giamardi. Great job training, and there we go. Good friend of ours, Dr. Tom Caltieri in the winner's circle.
Yeah, Dr. Tom Qualtero, mayor of Saratoga, beautiful house on Saratoga Lake, and he is a man, like many in Saratoga Springs and the upstate region. He lives and breathes thoroughbred racing, loves to handicap, likes to throw in a couple bucks here and there, and just loves the game, which it's nice to see an owner like that get rewarded on Father's Day with a nice stakes win.
Oh, absolutely. And you know he's counting the days till opening day of Saratoga.
Less than a month out. We'll actually have a little Saratoga talk a bit later, and wrapping up this week's top performers, Saratoga Stakes engagements on the radar when we come back here at Belmont. 13 days out, July 4th, Stars and Stripes Day at beautiful Belmont Park. The food trucks in the back, world-class thoroughbreds, and an international cast on the front side, including Lady Eli, who has taken on all comers and defeated everybody, and she'll go in the Belmont Oaks.
Yeah, and I know that our racing secretary, Martin Panzer, was over there trying to recruit some more European participation, so hopefully we'll have a lot of Euros coming over, although maybe Lady Eli is going to scare them away.
Could be the case. $1 million purse, though, and Chad Brown did win that race last year with Minorette. He'll look to stay unbeaten. More on the Stars and Stripes program a bit later in the Insider broadcast. Back to race number 7. We continue on. It is Sunday's late pick 4. Larry Colmus on the main track in the 7th.
They're off. Sonora done listening. These two out for the lead. On the outside, it's Our Sleeping Beauty who came out third and is just alongside of them. And then it's back to Spuntastic. Southern Sunshine on the far outside is next. Then Non Finisse Mai. On the inside comes Sweet Polly Purebred and Barrier to Entry. 6 lengths off the lead at the back of the field. Sonora is the pacemaker. On top by a length, Done Listening is running in second through a 22 and 4 opening quarter mile. And then to the outside, Southern Sunshine follows in third, Spuntastic fourth, Non Finisse Mai, between horses starting to move up into contention. And then comes Sweet Polly Purebred. Barrier to Entry is extremely wide on the turn. The trailer is Our Sleeping Beauty. Sonora is the one to catch, but Non Finisse Mai is moving up alongside, and they're into the stretch, a 47 flat half mile. Non Finisse Mai on the outside. Down toward the inside, Sonora continues to battle. Right behind them is Southern Sunshine in third. Non Finisse Mai on the inside, Sonora. Southern Sunshine on the outside. It's Sonora and Non Finisse Mai down to the line together. Heads are bobbing to the finish. Non Finisse Mai over Sonora, and then came Southern Sunshine.
Non Finisse Mai, no cobwebs, no ring rust off the layoff. Looked like Raj had his hands full trying to get her straightened out. There was a jock's objection and steward's inquiry. They rightfully left it alone.
Well, I'm glad you said the name first. Now I can piggyback you. Non Finisse Ma. Good call. Did brush with Sonora turning for home. It looked like Rajiv was trying to get his filly to change leads, and he kind of pulled her in, and sometimes you'll point a horse in to get them to get on their right lead. They brushed. He took off her. There was no really reason for any disqualification. They had to look at it, and Raj won a couple of close finishes today. And again, I'll say it. I think it just shows that he's back in that form, and he is a strong finisher, and he's showing that now.
Right after bringing home a 9-1 shot and known Felice Mai, he was trying to sweep his own rolling double in races 7 and 8 as we continue on in Sunday's late pick 4. Big field of New York breds, 18 had entered.
Wow.
Never seen 18 in a race before in this circuit. After the surface switch, we scratched down to a field of 8. They were betting just about everybody, but Wake Up in Malibu was the clear favorite at around 2-1. And here's Larry down the backside.
And Mighty Zealous is last. I Love Lulu and Groupthink, and these two vie for early command. Wake Up in Malibu right behind them, a length and a half off the lead, and then comes Bug Juice, Change Will Do You Good. Bluegrass flashes down on the inside. Long for the City, and not far behind at all is Mighty Zealous, the trailer, 4 lengths off the lead. The opening quarter mile as they move into the far turn, and it's Groupthink in front. I Love Lulu second on the outside, and then it's Wake Up in Malibu third along the rail. Change Will Do You Good is fourth. Right behind them is Bug Juice running in 5th position as the field makes their way around the far turn. And saving all the ground here is Long for the City, who's right in behind the leaders. It is still Groupthink going at it up front with I Love Lulu. These two head and head on the lead as they come to the top of the stretch. I Love Lulu on the outside, Groupthink along the rail. Change Will Do You Good trying to come and get them on the outside. Then it's Wake Up in Malibu. Extreme outside, Mighty Zealous trying to get going late. Final furlong, Groupthink on the inside. I Love Lulu on the outside. Here's Wake Up in Malibu. Change Will Do You Good on the outside. The 4 of them are going to come down to the line, and it's going to be a head-bobbing finish that goes to I Love Lulu. Over Groupthink, and then came Wake Up in Malibu and Shane.
Pitched battle down to the wire, Mig, in a race where there was just a mad scramble between the top 2, but the top 2 were the pair that carved out a half in 48 flat for 7 furlongs.
Well, how are you going to come from off the pace to run down horses that are going that soft on the lead? 48 in a race going 7/8 of a mile is just basically walking along. I Love Lulu. I guess I tipped the hand a little bit. Rajiv Mirage, that was his second photo finish win of the day, and I guess I should have just waited until after this one to give him those
the props?
The props.
The props
of
of winning.
I'm trying to come up with?
He didn't say what races, though. He rode in more than 2 races today,
right.
So you really didn't give anything away but a riding double on the afternoon for Raj as he gets closer to Saratoga Racecourse. What else happened today? Warm Sunday, a hazy Sunday. Let's have 1, 2, 4, 5, and 9 with Larry C.
And Special Ops runs up on the outside of Uncharted Course as they come to the top of the lane. Regal Soldier angles to the outside of them for the stretch drive. It is Special Ops drifting out but clear to a 2.5 length lead as they come inside the final furlong. And then it's Regal Soldier. Tappet Sphere is making progress up the rail. Past the 16th pole. Special Ops in front and in the clear from Tappet Sphere. Special Ops and Javier Castellano win it by 3.5 lengths. Tappet Sphere was second. Regal Soldier was third. 2 Mandolin wins. Nothing today from aggrandizement. They're into the stretch. What's up, big guy? He's got a 4-length lead here as they come to the final furlong. And then it's Mandolin wins on the outside, followed by Thomas Knight. A 16th to go. And it's What's Up, Big Guy by 4. Then Mandolin wins, Thomas Knight and Kiss the Road. What's Up, Big Guy? A 4.5 length winner on the wire. Then these two 1-2 majestic guys outside of them and farther out wide. Here comes I Got the Disco in Me. I Got the Disco in Me's taking the lead. I Got the Disco in Me has taken over. On the inside comes Life's a Roar. Sugar Gold is closing on the far outside. Sugar Gold trying to come and get I Got the Disco in Me and Life's a Roar. 3 of them down to the wire. Life's a Roar comes back to win. Life's a Roar beat I Got the Disco in Me. Sugar Gold was as they come to the top of the stretch. David Rocks has run 46 and 2 for a half mile and is taken on by the Stone Ranger and Norm the Giant. These 3 have a furlong to run. Still David Rocks. Norm the Giant on the outside second now. The Stone Ranger is back to third as David Rocks just keeps on going. David Rocks goes all the way. And then it was Norm the Giant, the Stone Ranger in New York victory. As they come toward the top of the stretch. And then it's March 2. Slanawalia is getting going too and swings up on the outside. A 47 and 1/2 mile. And they're into the stretch. and it is Invasion Point in front. Invasion Point by a length and a half, trying to find a spot is 217, who now comes up on the outside. And then it's Blue Chips only. It's down to these three. It is Invasion Point and 217 down to these two. 217 Invasion Point, 217 by a neck over Invasion Point, and then it was Blue Chips.
Racing Office again did a nice job putting today's card together with that threat of rain. They had coverage in a number of races, and there were very few scratches in the scheduled dirt races. And race number 9 had a good-sized field and a wild finish down to the wire. But between a couple of horses, in 217 with Cappy's binoculars in the second look, who was trying to reel in Invasion Point. Pretty nice Father's Day here for both Bruce Levine and jockey Kendrick Carmouche.
Bruce Levine working on that 3,000th career victory. Got his 2,000th earlier last week. And Kendrick Carmouche, nice to see him get 3 wins. He's a guy that I think fits very well in this colony. He's a good finisher, rides a smart race, and nice to see him rewarded.
And much like yesterday, chaos, in a way, seemed to rule many of the win prices on the program. Favorites, for the most part, and short-priced horses did not do well today. They got up to the last in the double carryover with 1 horse covered, Slanabalia. It's not the same horse we saw earlier in his career. He was never involved. Start studying Wednesday. Waiting here for you, 320,000 plus in that Pick 6 carryover, and those past performances are currently out at timeformus.com and drf.com. Claims on the afternoon, few horses changed hands, including a pair that went to David Jacobson in the late double.
Yeah, David Jacobson probably starting to gear up, thinking about Saratoga, no doubt about it. He's busy at the claim box. Jeremiah Englehart picking up 1 also.
39 cards down. Another 5-day racing week in the rearview mirror. What happened over the last few days at beautiful Belmont Park as the crowd still hangs out and some file out? We'll check it out when we come back. New week is upon us. Wednesday, after back-to-back dark days, 320,000 plus the carryover, and a couple days after that, another Friday at beautiful Belmont.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was a big success this past Friday. A lot of people staying around for the concert and a lot of activity in the backyard.
3 p.m. will be that first post. We'll have the live music. So You Say tore up the main track here a few days ago. 98 buyer for Michelle Nevin. 3-year-old filly by Flatter, who looks test and prioress quality.
And that's where it looks like she should be headed. I mean, this win basically pointed her out as a stakes quality filly. I thought this was a pretty good field, and she just trashed them.
You've got the Victory Ride July 4th, Stars and Stripes Day. Maybe that's back too soon. The Longines Test on Whitney Day, August 8th, and the Prioress is Labor Day weekend. Classic Salsa, let's give a little acknowledgement to a hard hitter who brings it every time. In a race with a horse, David Jacobson won his 1,000th.
Won his 1,000th, and those numbers are huge for a trainer. 1,000, 2,000, that's lofty air. And Classic Salsa in that David Jacobson frame of horses, older horses that, classy and get it done.
Speaking of classy, Liam's Map. Man, oh man, this great colt is just oozing with raw talent. Friday, 106 buyer, his first start since mid-December.
He's a budding superstar. I think this horse has so much ability. It's hard to believe he ever got beaten his maiden race, really. And he won this eased up. The margining of victory does not tell the whole tale there.
As Todd Pletcher noted with you, post winning yesterday's Better Roses with Dame Dorothy, that Liam's Map came out of Friday's effort in tip-top shape. Told you, like he hasn't even run yet. And Todd Pletcher cleaned up this week for a man that has Protonico, Race Day, Constitution, Commissioner, Milute, Coach-Inge, and Liam's Map heading into potential handicap races.
7 for 14 on the week. He had several multiple win days, and he's on pace to break his own personal best, but possibly David Jacobson's record of most wins at this meet with 44.
125 wins on the year for Todd Pletcher. His barn currently has $11.4 million in earnings, 26 graded stakes wins, 6 wins on the week for Luis Saez, who picked up victories for Pletcher, Brian Lynch, Tom Albertrani, Jeremiah Englehart, and Joe Sharp. Getting it done for multiple outfits.
Getting it done for a lot of different people. That's a credit to him, a credit to his agent, Richard DePass. And we had made note of it. It seemed like he'd been winning a lot lot of races on the turf. Well, he was 5 for 6 on the turf this week.
Here's your hat trick for Kendrick Carmouche. 2 wins today for Bruce Levine, and he scored a win earlier in the program for a different outfit as well. Irad Ortiz, though, has had a quiet couple of days at Belmont Park. You're winning, or I should say leading rider with 38 victories. Owner standings up next with another Sunday, June 21st down. We are just rolling full steam ahead to the Spa. Michael Dove with 10, David Jacobson with 9. Very impressive list of outfits on that screen.
Yeah, people that invest a lot in the game and support the game year-round.
We need a little help handicapping that pick 6. Although Wednesday is still a long time away in a way, Andy Serling and Maggie Wolfendale have already done the work, and they're standing by with Who Is Good.
Thanks a lot, guys. Race number 5 on Wednesday's card is an interesting turf contest for fillies. I think it's 3-year-olds that are going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf course. And I like a horse in here named My Sweet Girl, the number 5 horse. She had major excuses when losing both of her first 2 turf starts out of town. Then she ran against the big one, Lady Eli, last time out, and had a very wide trip from the outside post to mile and 1/8 trip and didn't compete very well. But she's a good horse. In fact, I think she's a horse that at some point is going to move into stakes and do some damage. She also has enough tactical speed that I think they could have her forwardly placed in the race. Doesn't have a lot of speed on paper. Got a 2-headed monster from Chad Brown in this race to take a lot of money. But in my opinion, My Sweet Girl is the best one, and I think she gets it done in the 5th race on Wednesday.
Thanks, Andy, and a happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And while the weather decided to cooperate, despite us being off the turf today, I'm hoping it continues to cooperate because I have my eye on a turf race for Wednesday. It is the 2nd. It's a New York bred maiden special weight for the fillies, and one coming off of a layoff is number 10 in here. That's Full Tap. She's only made 1 start. It was on the dirt. It was okay. She was highly regarded, but you got to think that something may have happened to her as she has been off for nearly a year now for Christophe Clement. I really liked this filly's appearance in the paddock that day. She was so classy acting, so mature in her physical being in the paddock that she just immediately caught my eye. Now she's going to try her hand on the turf, or I should say her hooves on the turf, and Tap It. He's a pretty good influence no matter what surface you're on, but her dam, she was a multiple winner on the grass, so that bodes well for her. Also, the stats for trainer Christophe Clement, they bode well too for a filly returning with Lasix for the first time off a 180-day plus layoff. Christophe is 16 for 54, so that's 30%, and he does have a positive ROI with this kind of move, and that just makes me like Full Tap even more as your paddock insider. Guys, back to you.
Couple of live plays in Wednesday's Pick 5. First race post, 1:20 p.m. 13 days out from that Stars and Stripes Day program. JB, the MIG, again, happy Father's Day to the dads out there. We have got Tonalist as one of the many stars competing on Stars and Stripes Day. Where do you stand with him dropping out of his 2nd in the Metropolitan?
I love him going to the Suburban, going a mile and a quarter. I think he's suited to the distance. Obviously, he's one going a mile and a half here. I think the mile will sharpen him up where he'll be a little bit more involved. I just like him. I like him at Belmont Park.
Parks, Delaware, Thistledown, Woodbine, Santa Anita, the Bed of Roses at Belmont, all that and more for you on the National Racing Report. 7 p.m. Monday and Tuesday, $320,000 plus the carryover. We'll give you a wave goodbye, and we'll get back at it this coming Wednesday with the first race post of 120.